Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So no, you're not seeing things, there's not dirt on my face, these are bats. This is my first makeup tutorial that I'm doing for Halloween. Hopefully I'll do one more, maybe. We'll see how this one goes, how you guys like it. So this one is a bat one. It's not Batwoman, it's not Batman, it's bat, just a general bat. And I was inspired by my t-shirt. Let me just show you. It's from Zara and it says on it, "Not a Sleeping Beauty," and there's a picture of a giant bat with red diamantes. It's so cool. So cool. So I was kind of inspired to do something like this. I've done a bat wing eyeliner, which was very difficult. I haven't got a steady hand at all. And to achieve the actual bats on my face, I've used this now, obviously, so it's a bit flimsy. I got a stencil from Topshop. It was only like £2. I cut it in half and I stuck it to my face, and then I applied some kind of a black cream contouring kind of product, and then I put black 3D glitter by MAC on top to give it a sparkle, because obviously you'll be out at night, Halloween, and you will be sparkling as you go along. Just wanted to have a little bit of fun, trying to keep it very kind of pretty still, but obviously with that whole Halloween kind of twist. I didn't want to do an ugly kind of Halloween makeup tutorial, because there are going to be plenty of women, guys out there that still want to look cute but don't want to look like really scary. They just want to kind of join in with the fun and that sort of thing. So I kind of put together this sort of look. So I've done like a basic makeup tutorial, but then applied obviously these other things on top. My earrings are cobwebs. These are from H&M. I've got spider earrings as well, and a ring. I think this is from Primark. The earrings are all from H&M. So it's just about having fun and playing around. Obviously, if you just want to have the bats, you can just do that. You can apply them to your forehead, you can apply them to your chin area, wherever you want to put them. It's just about having fun. That's it, really. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye. Hello. So the first thing we're going to be doing is using the ordinary silicone primer, the high-adherence one, all over my face, just to set it for the foundation later. And then I'm going to be using the Urban Decay primer potion in the shade Enigma, as that is a neutral matte colour. And then I'm using Huda Beauty's Faux Filter foundation in the shade Dulce de Leche, and I am blending it into my face using a Real Techniques Expert face brush. This is a full coverage foundation, so you don't need to use a lot. A little bit goes a really long way. Funnily enough, in this video it was the first time I was actually ever using it, so it was kind of like oh, okay, as I was going along. So just make sure that you blend that all in really nicely, making sure that you cover your entire face, because obviously this is a very dramatic Halloween look. Then I'm moving on to my eyebrows, and I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in the shade Dark Brown. I'm using her spoolie brush as well as a angled brush on the other end, and I just normally outline my eyebrows, then use the spoolie to blend it all in. I have a brow routine video which is linked below, so make sure you check that out. So that's what I'm going to do on both my brows. I'm just trying to go through this kind of quickly because, well, it's the same in every video, and the focus is obviously on the bat makeup, not really the rest of it. Well, it's up to you kind of. Anyway, so now I'm using a concealer just to tidy up around my eyebrows, as I always do, just to make sure that they're really sharp and unnaturally looking, because let's be honest, whose eyebrows look like this on a reg day? I just like to have mine quite sharp and make sure that everything is covered nice and neatly. And I'm just using the brush to blend it out, and I also use my finger too. So once that's done, I'm using Colourpop's No Filter Concealer in the shade Medium to cover my under eye circles and to highlight the high points of my face. I tend to use this technique quite a lot. And then I'm using a damp beauty blender to blend everything out. Now to set the areas where I've just placed the concealer, I'm using the shade Banana from Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and I'm using, as I always do, the Real Techniques contour brush. Then I'm using NYX's HD powder, also in the shade Banana, which is one of my favorite powders, which I always use to set the concealer around my eyes and to also set and mattify the primer and concealer around my eyes too. Now I'm using Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder just to set the foundation. I love this powder, by the way. It is amazing. And then I'm using Huda Beauty's Desert Dusk eyeshadow palette. First I'm using the shade Desert Sand just to neutralize my eyes, just using some random big brush I found lying around. Then I'm using the shade Eden, and I'm going backwards and forwards in the crease with a Morphe M330 brush. I basically just very slowly increased the color to the intensity I wanted. And then I'm using the shade Nefertiti, and I'm just going in onto the brow bone. I really wanted like a very soft golden shade up there. Then just use that same Morphe brush just to blend out any harsh lines. Then I'm using the shade Saffron, and I'm using the same Morphe brush to go backwards and forwards in the crease, slowly building up that color and just blending it into the orange. Oh, I forgot I was talking, I'm sorry. I'm using the shade Amber and Oud, and I'm using the Morphe M505 brush to go into the outer V area, building up that shade and making it look nice and smoky. Then I'm using the shade Blood Moon, and I'm using a large shader brush by Sigma just to place it all over the eye. This is an amazing, like, gorgeous reddish rusty eye look if that's what you want to go for. If you didn't even want to do all the bats and stuff, it's a really pretty look on its own. Then I'm using the NYC Liquid Eyeliner just to line my eyes, as I always do. This is the way that I kind of do it every single day. It's of like medium thickness, and as you can see, I'm building up the color. As it dries down, I'm going in again and again, just layering it. I'm making my wing quite long because obviously I'm going to have a bat. Now moving on to the bat, I'm using the L'Oreal Superliner Perfect Slim, which used to be my very favorite eyeliner I used for years before I moved on to the NYC one, and I am very gently sketching out the shape of a bat's wing. Luckily for me, this eyeliner was a little bit dry, which is why the line isn't so intense, so it's very easy to kind of make sure that you get a very gentle line rather than a harsh one that drags. And then I'm just like kind of tightening my skin to make it easier to apply, and then I am just filling it all in with the NYC liquid liner because it's very black. It's one of the blackest liquid eyeliners I own, and I'm just sharpening up the eyes as well and just making sure that I fill everything in properly, and so that I can slightly extend those areas of the wings as well, because like I said, the L'Oreal one was slightly faded, and as you can see here, I'm just extending the wing itself just to give it more of a winged effect, if that makes sense, and just making sure that it's kind of even as much as it can be on both eyes. Now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills clear brow gel just to set my eyebrows, as I always do. And then I am going back to the Huda palette, and I'm using the shade Saffron again, and I'm using a Royal & Langnickel Pro pencil blender brush just to go in on the lower lash line to complete the eyeshadows on my face. Then I'm using the Rimmel, Kajal, whatever it is, Superliner, God knows, black pencil, you know the one, on my waterline. Then I'm using the shade Celestial, and I'm applying it with a MAC pencil brush to the tear duct. Now I'm using this NYX, I think it's Glam Luxe, Aqua Luxe, something like that, liquid liner in the shade Gold. I felt like being a little bit extra, so I'm just going in onto one side of the wing just to give it that little extra kind of sparkle, because you know me, I just couldn't just leave it as black. I was just like, let me try something else. And now I'm using the mascara, which is the L'Oreal Paradise Ecstatic Mascara, and then I'm using my favorite eyelashes, which are the Huda Beauty Sasha lashes, and I'm just using some duo glue and my usual 2 tweezers technique, one to place and one to fiddle around with before I just kind of poke it into place how I wanted it to be. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm using my favorite lower lash mascara, which is the Maybelline Push Up Angel. I like it because it's got a very thin brush. And then I'm using the shade Java from the contour kit again, and I'm going in quite heavily with my contour, as you can see, because this is a dramatic look. And I'm using a angled brush, a large angled brush by Sigma, to chisel out my cheekbones,
to go around the sides of my temple as well as the sides of my nose, to slim down my nose and make it look a lot more sharp. Like I said, I'm going in quite heavily with this. I'm going in quite heavily with all the makeup, to be honest, because that is the purpose of this makeup look. Next, I'm using the Berry Adore blush palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I used the shade Dessert, and I'm again going in very heavily using a MAC blush brush. Going in very heavily because, well, why not? Now to highlight my cheekbones, I'm using the shade Padded Down from the Double Play Pressed Powder Duo palette thingy by Colourpop, and I'm applying it quite softly to my cheekbones using the Morphe M310 fan brush. I didn't want to go in quite heavily with the highlight on my cheekbones because I knew I was going to be applying the stencil that you're going to see in a minute straight after. So this is my Topshop stencil, which I then use scissors to cut in half. And then I'm using this Freedom SFX Ghost Stories kit, and I'm using that black shade, which I actually mixed with some Duraline from Inglot because I bought this last year. I think you can get it again now, but it had gone a little bit hard. So just place it right under your cheekbone there before I am using a dirty old damp beauty blender I just found lying around somewhere, because obviously I don't want to get my lovely clean ones all covered in black. And basically I am just stamping it all over. And then, because that is a cream contour colour that I'm using on my face, I am dabbing MAC 3D glitter in black all over the top, and because it's sticky, it's able to stick nicely in place without you having to worry about any fallout. Take a deep breath, and now, like you're about to wax your face, peel it off slowly, and oh, we have a line. Mistakes happen, what can you do, especially when you're doing these kind of makeup looks. So I'm just using my foundation brush and a little bit of foundation just to tidy it up and blend it all out. Again, these things happen, guys, but it's just the way that you deal with it afterwards, and to tidy it up and neaten it and set it as you saw me do. Now for the final part of the look, I'm using Huda Beauty's lip contour in the shade Cheerleader. I do love her lip liners and liquid lipsticks, they're amazing. And so I'm just lining my lips as I normally do. I think this goes really nicely with the red and black that I've got going on. And then I'm using the liquid lipstick also in the shade Cheerleader just to finish off the look. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what your thoughts are. Other than that, we will see you all soon. Bye. Oh, and happy Halloween.